Talking about factor pairs for certain numbers, and we are doing this to help us build a skill that will help us with factoring quadratic expressions later on. So when we're talking about factors, we're talking about the numbers that multiply together to equal that. So when you're trying to list all the possible factors of a number, you're thinking about what numbers it's divisible by. So a number is divisible by 2 if its last digit is even, a 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. It's divisible by 3 if the sum of its digits is divisible by 3. So sum means add up all the digits. So for example, the number 108, 1 plus 0 plus 8 is 9. So 108 is divisible by 3 because the digits add up to 9, and 9 is divisible by 3. A number is divisible by 4 if the number represented by its last two digits is divisible by 4. So you just have to look at the last two. It's divisible by 5 if the last digit is 0 or 5. It's divisible by 6 if the number is divisible by 2 and 3. So you go back to our rules for 2 and 3. It has to fit both of those criteria. If it fits both of these criteria for 2 and 3, then it's also divisible by 6. And then divisible by 9 is very similar to the rule with divisible by 3. So if you add up all the digits and then that sum is divisible by 9, then that number is divisible by 9. And then any number that ends in 0 is divisible by 10. So that'll be important to know when you're trying to find all the factors of a number. You want to know all the numbers that would divide into that number. So we're going to be completing this worksheet today. And in the table provided in the first two columns, you're going to list pairs of numbers that multiply together to equal 100 for part B. And then, so there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different pairs. And then after we find a pair of numbers that multiply to 100, we would find the sum of those two numbers and then also the difference of those two numbers. There will be a positive and a negative difference. Okay, and I will explain here. So for 100, I'm going to erase this here. So each number is always divisible by 1. So 1 times 100. So 1 in itself, we're always going to start with 1 in itself for every number. And then a quick way to find these list of factors is we're going to use our graphing calculators to help us. So I want you to clear everything. So if there's any weird settings in there, we'll get rid of that. So everyone's going to reset their calculator. So we're going to press second and then the plus sign and then 7, 1, 2. So the buttons I pushed are right here. Second plus 7, 1, 2. So now everything is all cleared out and we have a nice clean slate to work with. Next, you're going to press y equals, and then the number we're trying to list factors for is 100. So we're going to do 100 divided by x. Then we're going to go to the table. So I'm going to press second graph. And notice in the table we have 1 and 100. And the next we've got 2 and 50. 2 times 50 equals 100. 3 does not divide in evenly, so that we skip down here to 4 and 25. And then 5 and 20. Okay, you can see 6 does not divide into 100 evenly, 7 does not, 8 does not, 9 does not, but 10 times 10 multiplies to 100. So that is all of the pairs of numbers that we could multiply together and get 100. Now we're going to go through each pair and find its sum. So 1 plus 100 is 101. Then the difference. We can do 1 minus 100, which would give us negative 99. And then we could also do 100 minus 1, which would give us positive 99. So each difference, it depends on which way you take it, it will have a positive and negative. Okay, 2 plus 50 gives us 52. So the sum of these numbers is 52. Their difference, 2 minus 50 is negative 48. 50 minus 2 is positive 48. And then the sum of 4 and 25 is 29. Their difference, 4 minus 25, would be negative 21. And 25 minus 4 would be positive 21. 5 and 20 have a sum of 25. The difference would be, if we did 5 minus 20, would be negative 15. And then 20 minus 5 would be positive 15. And lastly, 10 plus 10 is 20. 10 minus 10 is 0. Okay? So it doesn't matter which way you do it. It's not, no such thing as a positive 0 and a negative 0. But this is all of these first two columns are showing us all of the factor pairs for the number 100. And then this is the sum of each pair. And then the last column will be the difference of each pair.